space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilization, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Hi and welcome back. Right, I said at the end of the last video that I'd start this video with everything working. Things haven't gone exactly to plan. You saw last time I had to redo this part of the circuit board for the 18 mega because I'd messed up all the timing area. So I've done it on a bigger board, I did, and we've got all them lights working. I tested my warp buzzards were working, but when I did both together, it kept cutting out, and the reason was not enough milliamps coming through my voltage regulator to power the 18 mega and the 2 motors, so I've had to do a second 5-volt regulator just for the motors. I did a few wires wrong, so I've completely redone this board as well. All that remains actually from the original is with the AT Tiny on, that works perfectly. But so far we've got this. I know it's not all in camera. But we've got lights on and the buzzards start working and the motors are going now with it, so that's all good. I know the motors are noisy, but it's not a problem because once it's in space, sound doesn't carry in space, so there'll be no sound from that. So the next thing I'm doing is the buttons, and they've given me another kick in the arse. I've basically got all this wrong. I've wired it all up in basically reverse. It's slightly just out of camera. I went back onto the prototype board with the Arduino, and I know now how the circuit has to be for it to work with these buttons. So I've gonna have to take these pull down resistors out, these 3 wires out, then run, so it'll just go straight to outwards, and I'll have to do a complete new board for the buttons with the new circuit on for each. Remembering that I've got a 4th button going in, but I don't think I won't have the same problems, as that doesn't need to be on this board. That's just for on and off for the ship. I plugged in the sound card didn't work either, so I'll get the buttons going. We'll have a look with the buttons working, and then I'll be on to troubleshooting why the sound isn't working as well. But it's slowly getting there. It's all a learning curve for me. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. If you'll recall, my last build was the Kazon Raider, and that was a set of LEDs in parallel on an on-off switch. And now we're running on microchips and building control boards. I've really gone for it, but once I will crack the problems, we'll get it working, and once it's working we can move on to getting the decals done. But I don't want to be messing about with the electronics and the decals at the same time, because the truth is it's a pain plugging all these wires in and out constantly. Like, there's wires going everywhere because of how it's set up. I need to start looking at a base as well, so I can get these into a permanent position and neaten it up, but one step at a time. So on with buttons. Once I have them working, I'll show you my new board for the buttons, and then we'll take it from there. Right, so I've got my new board built now for all the buttons. Plug in up the top, 9-volt power coming in here to light them up, 5-volt power coming in here for the actual buttons, connections to the main board. So that's all sorted now and they're all up and running. So let's have a look at them working. Right, sorry the last segment sound didn't record, but I put the captions up what was happening when I was testing the nacelle button. Since then I've got everything connected up. It has all been running and then inexplicably the sound stopped, so I've just spent days troubleshooting. And it turns out it's my cheap speaker that stopped working, that I paid £1.54 from a charity shop in an old toy. But apart from needing a new speaker, which I'm ordering from eBay, so God knows when it'll arrive, everything is working now. So this button would normally cycle through all sound effects, but we can't hear them. But we can watch it go through its startup routine. This would normally play along to the season 2 opening theme of TOS. So everything slowly goes off, comes on, our shuttle bay's on, nav lights have started, got our collision lights going, our impulse engines have come up, buzzards have started going, our warp engines are on with subtle blue glow. So everything is working really nice. This episode's taken me longer to get to here than I planned, and it's starting to get a bit long again. So I know I said I'd start the decals, but I've like been troubleshooting and got all the electrics sorted, so I'm happy with that. So I'll have to call this episode done, and I'm gonna start the next episode, get all this tidied away. Good news, model shop's back open, so I was able to get some thick plastic card so I can start building parts of the base at last. So I'm going to call this one done. I'm going to start the next one, get the clear coat on all the ship, last couple of pieces attached, and start getting some decals down, because we're not far off now. But for this time, thank you for watching. Keep trekking, keep modelling. Thank you, bye bye.